Alright, so I wanted to, the fastest way to get this idea into a documented format is to just explain it. So a lot of board games have player boards like this, and you use something like a tracker. Happens to be the wrong tracker for this track, but it'll suffice for example here. Make it a little more visible. So it starts here, and you would take the sheet and the excellent, very thin magnets, which aren't here yet, and you would put the magnets, lay them out. This might be, I have a laminate sheet here as an example. I'm thinking two-side adhesive, adhesive on both sides. So what we do, and I didn't even like that, but oh well. You would take the sheet and lay it over the player board, and you would lay out these very thin, very small magnets in each spot that there is a stop on the track. I made a mistake there, but it's irrelevant for illustrative purposes. So now we have these magnets trapped in here in the exact configuration of the track itself. So we would cut an appropriate, slice of this, and there's going to be some kind of edge clamp thing, something like a refrigerator clip, but just small. Somehow some edge will be affixed to this that's about that thick, a lip if you will, and you'll slide it in and it'll stop on this lip, and now you have this piece which you affix a piece of metal tape or affix a metal washer with some adhesive, or purchase, there's going to be many sizes of cylinders of colored pieces that have magnets in them themselves to make them a little stronger. But the idea is this is metallic, it's attracted to magnets, and you drop it, you put it on the track, and it snaps. When you put it, it snaps and it'll hold there. Because a common problem with player boards is that you're talking and reaching for something, and maybe you go to read or adjust something and you bump your track, and you don't know where this was, it can fall off. So that's the player board application. Another example is for the boards themselves. Carnival Zombie has no tracks on the player sheets, but it has 3 tracks on the board. This could apply to that. We would have different sizes and different ratio rectangles of these sheets, and so another example would be a little bit of a longer, like a legal size sheet would be perfect for this, and we would use some larger magnets and put snap points in these locations where these tiles can be explored. And slide it, again, attach a lip to it, slide it, stick it under the board, and then these tiles would have something like just metal tape on the back of them, or something along those lines, and something very thin that they could still be shuffled would be important. But some kind of thin metal or magnet that can stick to the back of these, and then you would drop it and it would just snap, and again this would be underneath. You're slitting this underneath. One last example that I have from this game, which is probably my biggest motivator for wanting this and thinking of it and coming up with it. Same concept, but just with these. And these are locations where item cards are placed. And again, with the snap points, with the sheet, and with the snap points, and you put it, under, you slide it under once your points are configured. And the idea is that you do this once for each game that you want to retrofit this way. And then these, how are these going to snap? Well, the answer is you affix a magnet. The extra sheet that you would have been cutting out of this is still very useful. So you affix, you know, like when we use it for the player board, there's still a significant piece of this left. And so what you do is you cut, or we, you know, you find, you know, my goal is to provide sheets of strips that are just wide enough for the card sleeve size. And I think I'm going to provide them for every card sleeve size pre-cut. By 50s probably, because I think the smallest sleeve size you can purchase is also 50, so I think that makes a lot of sense. But depending on the price, I may do less, I may do 10. I mean, this game doesn't need 50, obviously. Actually, it probably does. But the other idea is that if there's some way to print a ferrous substance on, i.e. sleeves, or on some kind of plastic sheet, if it can be printed, then that would be another way of sourcing this. But incidentally, you can absolutely, is this a starting item? No. Incidentally, you can, of course, make this yourself with materials that you are able to source. I mean, everyone can get self-adhesive laminate. Everyone can get magnets. There are websites where you can go get skinny neodymium magnets. The really thin ones are hard to find and are a lot less expensive if it's bought in bulk. This is being licensed under, sorry, it's being licensed under CC by NCSA, which means that you cannot use this commercially, but you can use it for yourself, and you must share alike. So share with a Creative Commons license appropriate. You must share alike anything you do with it. If you improve on it, etc. I'm definitely open to ideas and contributions. It's open source, but ultimately I'm the only one who has commercial rights to this. So